welcome back to the 6 o'clock show. We're live with you until 7 this evening, and so far we've been chatting to comedian Alison Spittle and singer Michael English.
Now on the sofa is a mum of 3 and a granny who took up the sport of powerlifting in her late 40s and can lift, we keep on saying it because it's too impressive, 5 times her own body weight. Just let that sink in. Just let it sink in. Yes, full of boss. Full of boss.
I reckon all the shopping goes in from the car at once.
God.
Before we speak to her, let's take a look at her appearing in the upcoming documentary Lift.
There's a reason for everything, I think. You know, to wait till you're like 47 years of age to find something that you're good at and that you have a passion for is the most amazing thing.
July 2013, she would have came in to do our beginners strength and conditioning course. A couple of months into it, she squatted 100 kilo. Like, for her size, it was very good. People love her. She's like the mammy of powerlifting, you could say.
Please welcome Karen Linehan Barry.
Great to have you on. Listen, as we saw there, you got into this in your late 40s.
Yeah.
So how did you get started in powerlifting?
I suppose couch potato all my life. Decided in my late 40s better do something health-wise. Started walking, running, doing cardio classes. Nothing ever really
The
stuck.
walking didn't exactly go well.
I was hoping you mightn't mention that now.
You should have known that I would.
Yes, myself and the hubby decided, OK, I'm going to get off the couch, going to go for a walk. There's a beautiful walkway from Carrigaline to Crosshaven. Lovely summer's day. Started walking, and I'd say I got less than a mile, and I had to literally sit down. I was crying with the pain in my legs after a mile, and he had to go and get the car and bring me home.
We had to go get the car.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm using that excuse from now on. Get the car, I'm gonna
That's
pain me
literally
legs.
how bad it was. My terrible shin splints because I just did no exercise. I walked nowhere. I got the car, went to the car, just to the local shop. I walked nowhere.
You're saying you were, when you say couch potato, you're being 100%...
Literally went from work to home, cooked, sat down at night in front of the television all night. Repeat.
Okay.
So I did all that, started getting fitter and fitter and fitter, was sitting in a spin bike one day in the gym, hated cardio, and I looked out at the weight section was and the open door in front of me, and I thought, that looks interesting, we'll see. You know, we might try that. And I asked them in the gym to do me up a programme. They do you a programme, but, you know, in a commercial gym, you're just left to your own devices. So I was doing dumbbells and that, but I didn't really know what I was doing, but kind of enjoyed the dumbbells, you know, feeling strong at the same time. And there was another gym opened up quite close in Carrigaline, KJ Strength and Performance, and they did strength and conditioning. So I joined there, and the first night I went down really early, saw all these girls and guys lifting really, really heavy weights, and I thought, oh yeah, I want to do that. It looks so exciting, you know, and interesting. And literally that night when I picked up a barbell, I just fell in love.
Okay, so you go home and you tell your family, you say, listen, I'm going to be a powerlifter. What was their reaction? Because is it true that your husband thought, oh, here we go, she's on another fad?
I had 2 sons at home at the time and a husband, and all eyes rolled to heaven. Liam, my husband, had bought me every contraption known to man, treadmills, cross trainers, ab rollers, paid for classes, paid for gym memberships, and everything was a fad, and he thought, here we go again. And you know, he couldn't believe it then, how I just stuck to it.
And then not only did you stick to it, you start competing.
Yeah.
So your very first competition, your nerves were pretty high, weren't they?
Pretty high. Not going, I was all excited to go, but when I got there, I realised I've never, you know, played sport in front of anybody. There was 2 powerlifting platforms, a load of chairs in front of it, and I suddenly realised, oh, I have to stand up there and lift, you know, this close to referees and people watching me. And I picked up my phone to pretend I was on the phone. I went into a corner and completely bawled my eyes out. I was terrified. I just felt I couldn't do it. It was just completely overwhelming. So luckily enough, I wasn't lifting till the afternoon. I watched the morning's lifting, and I was hooked before I ever got on and lifted a weight, because you have all these strangers screaming for every single competitor, strangers screaming for you to lift that weight. Whether it was 20 kg or 200 kg, it didn't matter.
they're just, there's a
just
community spirit. that just is
Unbelievable
with you.
community spirit. And that's what, I love to see the younger crowd getting into strength sports now and powerlifting. It's so good for them. It's so good for women, for their bone density, everything. But it's the inclusiveness. Powerlifting is so inclusive compared to other sports.
See, this is the funny thing, because I look at the corner, I don't go to the gym anymore because I find it intimidating.
Yeah.
And I look into the corner and I'm like, oh, that's not for me, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
But Alison, you've recently taken up lifting, haven't you?
Yeah. Once again, it's the cardio that annoys me, because you're just lugging yourself around. You're like, oh, it's a lot of effort. But when you're weightlifting, the sweat literally spits out of your forehead and it feels great. You just feel like you're doing something with your body.
Yeah.
And also bringing home shopping a doddle.
No problem.
An absolute doddle.
One trip.
One trip. Give me all the cans. I'll throw them in. I'll get a month's supply of cans.
Oh my God, you'd make so much money at a festival. I'll bring all your cans in now. It's fine.
I'm the bag of cans lady.
That's it.
It'd be amazing, yeah.
So you've lifted somewhere in the region of 50 kg.
I think so. Like, I'm doing it with this, my friend Abigail, who is into CrossFit and all that type of stuff. It's all about, like, keeping your form. So it's kind of, for me, it's not the weight, it's the kind of just lifting it and making sure I don't break my knees or my back.
Yeah.
Like,
The
that's
technique is very, very important.
Because powerlifting, you're not lifting over your head, you're picking up.
Yeah, deadlifting is, the deadlift is the weight from the floor and you stand up and put it back down again.
Now, you've lifted, what is the most you've lifted is 138.
147.5 was at my last competition, at this body weight of 63 kg. Yeah.
Two of me.
That's two Michaels.
Two of me.
Who are you?
Two of me, yeah.
So just imagine two Michaels on a barbell.
Yeah.
My eyes are going to pop out of my head. I'm doubling you in my head. I'm going, you did what?
So can you pick up your sons now?
Oh, I can pick up my husband. He's 96 kg, no problem.
Really?
Liam, does she do it often?
Yeah.
Well, that's more than your children wanted to know.
All right.
There's different dynamics in the house now.
Tell you, better than that. No need for taxis from the pub. No. Karen will sort it out.
You're a human tuk-tuk. Beautiful. Beautiful.
But Karen, whatever about that first competition, you've gone further than that. Earlier this year, by the way, folks, Karen became the European Masters champion.
Amazing.
So, bearing in mind the person who went in and sat in the corner, you got to the point where you're standing on the top of the podium and your national anthem is playing.
That was pretty amazing because the Irish Powerlifting Federation, which is affiliated with the International Powerlifting Federation, they're 4 years in existence now with raw powerlifting, and it was the first time anybody had ever placed first on the podium and the first time that the Irish powerlifting had Oran Naveen played at a competition. It was pretty amazing. I was standing up there, I couldn't stop beaming. I just couldn't stop beaming, and I could see my coach down in front of me and he had tears up in his eyes. It was just the most amazing feeling ever. It's just goosebumps.
And we're going to get to see all this because you've had cameras following you around for the documentary Lift. For someone who's like, I'm so nervous. You had a film crew following you around. What was that like?
It's pretty bizarre. Ken Williams and Dennis Fitzpatrick of Stanley Death Park. I actually worked with Ken years and years ago, over 20 years ago in a pub, and reconnected with him on Facebook, and he rang me up one day and he said, I've been watching you on Facebook with your lifting, and he said, this is pretty, great, like, tell me a bit more about it. So they make some documentaries and short films, and he asked me would I be interested in a 5-minute short film.
Right.
Oh.
And I said, yeah, it's a bit weird, like, who's going to watch a 50-year-old lifting? That's a bit strange. But he thought it was a story, so I said 5 minutes. Yeah, that's grand. And it just grew legs and legs and legs because the federation I was with at the time fell apart. There was a lot of politics.
Yeah.
It was very, very upsetting. And then I decided I was going to move to this new federation, which was much bigger and better and far more competition. And the film just grew and grew and grew, and they actually followed me over to Minsk to the World Championships. And
well, it's at the point now where there's 5 minutes of credits.
Yeah, that's about it. And I assume there is an aim to win a world title, Karen?
absolutely, yeah, that's the spot that I want. That is the spot, and I'll keep going until I get there.
Can we give it up? Karen Linehan, Barry Innigan.
She'll do it. You know she'll do it.
It has been a pleasure.
Thank
We
you
bow
very
down.
much.
She's going to lift me up during the break.
By the
I'm
way, if you
very
want to see
excited.
Lift, it's going to be at the Indie Cork Film Festival in October from the 6th until the 13th.
Go see it.
Okay.
Brilliant.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to be bringing our guests over to the kitchen after the break, where Jeannie Maltese has some delicious Latin cuisine on the menu.
You can keep your late bloomer stories coming into us. Try to be Karen. That's going to be a tough one. It's WhatsApp 0833 60 60 60, or you can let us know as well about trying out for roles in school. You can also use the hashtag 6VMTV on any of our social channels. We'll take a quick break now, but there's lots more to come.